Hey, everybody. Welcome to I'm Not Crying, You're Crying, the show about anything and everything because it's our show. I'm here with Jay.
Hi, guys.
And Juan.
Hello.
And I'm Sean. and this is our theme music. Hey, everybody. Welcome back to I'm Not Crying, You're Crying. As always, guys, you can find us on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter, and YouTube at the handle INCYCSHOW. You can email us at that same handle at INCYCSHOW@gmail.com. And remember, rate and review us on iTunes or wherever you get your podcast because it helps us find people, as Juan stated, with actual good information. It helps out set the algorithm for people to find us. So please, wherever you listen to us, rate and review the show. And with that said, let's go ahead and kickstart it. And this is INCYC Show. I'm Not Crying, You're Crying, Season 7, Episode 4. We're not even halfway through the season yet. Juan, but you know what number episode this is? You know what number episode this is? This is episode number 91.
4. No way. No way.
Yeah,
Wow.
this is episode number 91. You know what that means? We're on Dick Watch officially, Juan. We're on Dick Watch, Juan. That means we have to.
No,
we got
I
nine more.
thought you were gonna say we made it
Dick Watch.
60 more episodes more than the Idiot Box.
Dick Watch 2020.
2022.
Like I said,
Dick Watch 2022. Juan Lesma, 9 episodes away from eating a dick. Well, are you excited, Juan?
2022 Dick Watch. Juan Ledesma
That's true.
will eat a dick.
More at 11. More. But yeah, Juan, so prepare yourself. You should start doing some jaw exercises.
This just in. 9 more episodes. Juan Ledesma, Dick Watch.
Yeah, dude. Yeah, and we
I'm
did.
glad that
I mean,
you guys
know
are
what?
so fucking mature. I'm glad.
Well, I mean, you're the one who said you would do it. You're the one who said you would do it. So, but anyway, gentlemen, how's it going? You guys good? Juan, how are you? Did you even read the show notes? This is not a review episode. It's not a review episode. Although I think we should review Black Panther. But this is not a review. So did you even look at the show notes this episode?
I have a question.
Okay. That means no.
I thought it was Ye. I thought it was Ye. Why are they calling him Ye?
What are you talking about?
What are
In the
you?
CNN clip, they refer to him as Ye.
I'm sorry.
Because that's what.
Yeah, is this your way of telling me you looked at the show notes and actually watched the videos? Because good for you. Good for you.
No. I generally have a serious fucking question. I thought it was Ye, but they referred to him as Ye.
Okay, so I'm glad we're just gonna
Like they pronounce Ye, like how it was properly spelled. But I thought it was always like Ye, like easy, like I'm confused. Have I been saying it wrong all this time? Not that I say Ye, I say Kanye. But
okay.
How is it pronounced?
Who cares?
Yeah, I think
I do.
Well, if you're pronouncing Kanye for short, you can say Ye, and if you're just gonna read off the teleprompter, you can say Ye. So anyway, as we get this episode started, Juan.
What?
We have to have it's
Why?
Isn't he called Yeezy?
oh sweet Jesus.
Why are we explaining something that they could Google?
Yeah.
They can Google this.
Okay, Juan. So what
Why am I going to Google shit when I have 2 fucking best friends that can give me the answer?
Juan, because here's what here's
use that best friend term loosely.
So here's what we're gonna do, Juan. We're gonna go through.
You know, you guys are.
Here's what we're gonna do, Juan. We're gonna catch up on this week's events because the last couple of weeks have been very, very busy in the world of Hollywood. Yeah, we got some stuff to talk about Kanye, absolutely. But Juan, how are you just gonna?
What the fuck else happened in
How
Hollywood?
are
Wait,
you?
first we have to mention that Kevin Conroy died.
Yes, Juan.
And Tommy the Green Ranger,
Yes,
Jason David Frank.
exactly.
died.
How are you just gonna grace over those two things? Like, first of all, the Batman, the voice of Batman, for everybody in our age range, he died. Kevin Conroy died. I want to say last week. I
That's
don't.
insane.
Yeah, it is crazy.
What did he die of?
He was actually battling intestinal cancer, which is nuts because, like, I don't think anybody knew. Like I'd never heard anything about him being ill or being out or anything like that.
Yeah, but you can look at interviews with him and you can tell that he was.
You can't tell
sick.
that.
Yeah, dude, he looks skinny and
he's always been skinny. He's never been like a robust dude. I mean, he last year or 2 years ago they did the Collision of Infinite Earths. Whatever, I can't remember the hell it's called now. On the CW, and he actually played a version of Batman in that show. So
yeah, that's right.
Yeah, so it was a Battle on Infinite Earth, something along. But he played a version of Batman, like a live action Batman, along with Batwoman in that show. So you kind of got to see him a little bit in that role. But yeah, I mean, for a lot of people, I mean, Kevin Conroy is the voice of Batman. I don't know how much internet like stuff you guys did kind of around it, but Kevin Smith had a really fun story about how he's been reading Batman comics, and upon hearing his voice as Batman in the animated series, he then started to read Batman comics in that same voice. So yeah. Now, Juan, I know that you're not one to remember anything.
That's like the equivalent of Morgan Freeman narrating his everyday life.
Yeah, that's how iconic.
Yeah,
Kevin Conroy's Batman.
That's there's two animated Batmans that I or two people I remember from the animated Batmans, and that's Mark Hamill and Kevin Conroy.
You know what's sad?
Who's Kevin Conroy?
Who's Kevin Conroy? It's really sad. I asked a lot of people, and I asked people that specifically are into the Marvel movies, and they're supposed self-proclaimed nerds. And I go, hey, Kevin Conroy died. And they're like, who?
Yeah, and that's what, and like I said, like I think it's a crazy thing because like, he has been the voice of Batman for so long. But, the animated series is over 20 years old almost at this point, right? It's like, yeah. And some of these kids.
It's almost 30 years old.
Yeah.
But it wasn't just the animated series. He voiced him in a lot of the made for DVD or TV animated movies, right?
Yeah, for the animated movies.
He popularized it on the animated series.
Oh, yeah.
And and he, I mean, you want to talk about transcending just television. He also voiced the Batman in the Arkham Asylum games, which are like wildly popular. Go ahead, Juan.
Wasn't his last movie the Killing Joke with Mark Hamill?
No, he did a couple of others.
Yeah, I mean, off the top of my head, Juan, I don't know, but I do know that like you just can't glance over the fact that Kevin, the voice of Batman, died. You're trying to figure out who the fuck he is. Who cares? Kevin Conroy, the Batman I grew up with. I am the Knight. The person who had.
There's two Batmans in our childhood, Michael Keaton and Kevin.
Oh, and Adam West.
Yeah, there's Adam West.
No, that's your childhood, man.
There's
your childhood.
No, Adam West Batman is great. Don't try to. Yeah,
it's called Batman 66. There's only one person born in 66 here.
And it's not called Batman 66. Stupid. It's just called Batman.
Yeah, that's
okay. Look up Batman 66 and see what comes up.
There is a comic called Batman 66 that came out in the later 2000s for people like you, but it is just called Batman.
Called Batman 66.
Yeah. No. It was the TV show was Batman, but fuck you.
So, but yeah, man. But Kevin Conroy. He's voiced Batman in so many different popular things that, like, no matter what he had done outside of that, he's also always going to be known as Batman.
This is so weird. This is the weird thing.
I'm sure that
you watch other people perform Batman and you go, that's not Kevin Conroy.
Yeah, and to your point, Juan, there are different Batmans across our generation. There is Adam West. There is Michael Keaton, but there's also Christian Bale. And there's also George Clooney and Val Kilmer and all these other people. But the most iconic the most iconic Batman who never wore the suit like, you know what I mean? Like on screen, right? But it's Kevin Conroy. Like he transcended all these different Batmans. And we're forgetting about Will Arnett, who in the Lego movie was an epic Batman, but still.
Yeah, I think he was a good Batman.
Yeah, but so I think... Yeah, this is one that stings for the nerd community.
Yeah, when you first hear Kevin Conroy's voice in the Arkham games, you're like, oh shit.
Yeah. Because I mean, in the Arkham games, well, I don't know if you ever played them, but you know, it's a gritty telling of the Batman and Joker relationship, and yeah, it is dark and it fits. It fits. You would think someone who come off a kid's cartoon can like also it's great. I mean, so I wonder who will voice Batman like moving forward and kind of have that same gravitas that he had. You know, because now it's always going to be, well, he's not the Kevin Conroy of Batman.
It's going to be a difficult transition when they find that next iconic like Batman. I don't think they'll find it, but he's set the bar so high.
Yeah,
Kevin Conroy.
I don't think they'll find him in our generation at the very least.
Why not get somebody that
they have, and
it just
doesn't sound the same.
Yeah. He just had something. He just had something, you know, with his portrayal of Batman, and it was just different, and I can't explain it. But it was a terrible loss
he's
for
as iconic
the
as like Peter
community.
Cullen's Optimus Prime.
Yeah. Yes. Exactly. That's a really good example. It's a really, really good example. But yeah, you know, and then on top of that, like a week and a half later, because they, you know, I guess these things come in threes. I think that's what they say, right? Jason David Frank,
Tommy,
the Green Ranger. Tommy, he passed away. He died. Now I thought, and he passed away from suicide, Juan.
Yeah.
And I don't know how much more research you've done.
In a hotel room, him and his wife checked in. They were in separate rooms. They got into an argument. Hotel staff had to get involved. Then they got into another argument. The wife was afraid that he was going to do something to himself, called the cops. After no response, the cops had the hotel staff open the room, and they found him. He had killed himself.
It's really sad. It really is sad.
Yeah, I wasn't a big fan of the Power Rangers, like fucking Jizz Pants.
Hell yeah, dude! I love the Power Rangers.
I'm like, so here's the thing, man. It's almost I feel bad because I didn't do it on purpose, but so I don't know if you guys know, but like a year and a half ago, Hasbro had this like the dragon flute, like a life-size replica of the dragon flute for like dragon flute for like $60, $70.
Didn't you get it from somebody that went to Comic-Con?
No, well, I got like a miniature one. But I bought this life-size version of it, and it ships. It should be here tomorrow. I'm super excited. But
and it's doubled in price already.
Jesus Christ. But yeah, I don't know, man. Jason David Frank, the Green Ranger, the White Ranger, the Black Ranger, the Red Ranger. I wouldn't say he was a hero. He was just a very charismatic, fun dude to watch. And like Power Rangers in and of himself was like, it was the social currency.
And he wasn't even an original Ranger.
He was an original Ranger.
No. He
wasn't part of the first 5 Rangers, but
okay.
No, but he was the only one that mattered, bro. He showed up. And he fucked all those Rangers up, man.
Yeah, he was a bad guy to begin with.
It's just like the Terminator. Everyone loves the Terminator, but he started out as a bad guy. Yeah.
And he's the only other Ranger that just jumped inside their Zord and started fucking people up, man. Like it. Oh God, I don't know. There's just so many iconic episodes of Power Rangers, and you know, if you've never seen Power Rangers, it is some of the campiest, cheesiest shit to watch. But like this 5-episode arc of the Green Ranger is probably some of the greatest like television ever made, only because like it fits all those things. There's deception, there's intrigue, there's the people changing sides, there's people's lives hanging in the balance, and all done by this one dude, man.
You know what episode I remember? When they introduced the White Ranger, because that's when the Green Ranger lost his powers and all the other Rangers were pissed off. It's like going like, well, if he had the power to like create a new Ranger, why didn't he use that power to save Tommy and give him his Green Ranger powers again? And then, lo and behold, he's the White Ranger.
Shut up.
Do you guys remember the summer before they unveiled the White Ranger? When I was a kid, right before summer vacation, that episode where Tommy lost his powers, we were like, guys, what the fuck are we going to do now? Like, what are they going to do? And they go, we're going to create a new Ranger. And we're like, oh my God, is it fucking going to be Tommy? And the unveiling of the White Ranger. And first of all, let me just tell you how fucking gangster it was. Because not only did he come out as a new Ranger, but he had a talking fucking sword.
Yep.
That was the
And
dumbest
wasn't that
part
a
of the
flute too, or
Dude,
no? Like, wasn't the sword?
no,
wasn't
no,
it
the
a
sword,
flute too?
No, it wasn't a flute. It was a sword and a flute. Come on.
No,
That's dangerous. That's so dangerous.
No.
That explains why his mouth bled
Why are
every
you
single
playing
time he played it.
Flute sword.
The fact that he played the fucking flute over a helmet isn't stupid. Okay, go fuck yourself.
Anyway, but no, Juan, it wasn't a flute. It was a sword,
Yeah, it
and the
was like-
sword talked. It was his name. His name was
tiger.
Saba.
It was a tiger thing that talked at the end of his sword.
Yeah, like a little English tiger. It was it was adorable, but it was so badass, man. He had the best fucking weapon. It was
I
fucking
remember
great.
when the White Ranger came out, and you're like, "Oh, it's so cool!" And then the sword talked, and you're like, "That's stupid."
Oh, it's dumb, but that's okay. And it's the other thing that makes this very tragic about Jason Frank's death is that he was very passionate about the fans. He was really, really passionate, and he went out there every day kind of embracing, you don't really find many celebrities who embrace kind of that one thing they did, but he returned as Rangers multiple times. He brought popularity back to the series when they were bought by Disney and they did their Dino Charge. He came back to the series multiple times to do like other stuff. So like in and of itself, like he kind of just really embraced the fact that he was a Power Ranger and he wouldn't be much more outside of that. But he was so accomplished because aside from that, he was a practiced martial artist. He was an MMA fighter. He was helming his own production company. And he's released 2 or 3 movies kind of independently, kind of all in the same realm of like basically being a Power Ranger. But
Didn't he have his own martial arts studio?
Yeah. So, it's just kind of sad to see this happen because you assume kind of outside looking in that everything was
plus
doing well for the guy. Yeah,
fairly young. He's only 49.
Yeah. He's only 49, and to kind of like to have everything he had and to kind of be as engaged as he was. To have him be found in a hotel room like and hang himself is devastating. It speaks a lot about mental health in America and kind of what fame can do to you or what fame can hide. Because he's a guy dealing with real fucking problems. But anyway, but yeah, so fucking crazy, huge losses in the nerd community over the last 2 weeks. And I think if the Hollywood rule is true, we got one more coming, and I don't know if you guys have any predictions or who you think it might be, but. Shit, man, it's been a crazy fucking week. It's just been a crazy week. Speaking of crazy weeks, Elon Musk and Twitter, but more to that. You guys remember Kyrie Irving? Remember that guy? He did that the thing. So what we didn't talk about, because literally after we had talked, the NBA or the owners of the Nets, that's who he plays for, Jay, had released kind of like they had suspended him and they gave him reinstatement terms. For being reinstated. One of them was to issue a verbal apology and condemn the anti-Semitic film that he shared. Share that apology on social media. Complete sensitivity trainings. Meet with Jewish leaders in the Brooklyn community. Meet with Tsai.
Oh, Tsai, the manager.
Tsai. Yeah, and make a $500,000 donation to anti-hate causes. And after he did all those things, he could be reinstated to play. Assuming that the manager of the Nets agreed, like thought that he learned his lesson. The thing that's crazy about this is that it's not that he had to do all this stuff because like all this stuff kind of makes sense for the business of the Nets. The business of the Nets trying to make sure that they put out that they condemn anti-Semitism. All in, but like LeBron James was like, "Hey man, I think this might be a little bit too much. Like, relax." So, do you guys agree with LeBron? You think this is too much stuff for him to have to go through just to prove that he wasn't being anti-Semitic?
I don't know. I think a lot of the stuff that he has to do is just kind of like for PR. I think they wanted to. The Nets as an organization wanted to prove that they don't condone like anti-Semitic behavior, anti-Semitic remarks, or they don't promote anti-Semitism. It's just like Adidas dropping Kanye. They had to do something, and the more extreme that they the more list of demands that they had, I guess they felt it was acceptable.
Hey, let's back up. Remind me, when he reposted that link to the movie, what was the comment attached to it?
Black America needs to wake up or something, something along those lines. Where
I can't remember the exact post, but it was something along those lines. But he didn't necessarily endorse his film. He basically pointed out that there is this film called like something
from
in
Hebrews
and the Jews
to
or something
Negroes,
on Amazon, like on Amazon, like on you could probably go on Amazon right now and still find the damn movie. Amazon hasn't said shit about that, by the way. No one's even pointing fingers at Jeff Bezos about it. But
so he didn't say anything really anti-Semitic. He just posted a link to a movie that's seen as anti-Semitic. Like he didn't do, hey, I'm going DEFCON 3 type of bullshit.
Well, no, but he also, like, when they asked him about it directly, he just didn't say, oh, I didn't mean it that way. He just said, I've been reading books, but there's a book about this. It's like, you're taking my stuff out of context, but I'm not going to sit here and apologize for you taking my shit the wrong way. And so, and again, the Nets as an organization.
Oh, well, he's apologizing now.
Well, yes, because he needs money. I don't know if you know this, but he needs to work.
Yeah. I feel like you're
Warren?
trying to choose a side.
I still don't know. Like, I don't know what the movie was about.
The last time we talked
he
didn't
say like
what is going on?
Juan, you have to remember
all the stuff that he's doing to make amends.
Those are all things that were directed to him by the Nets organization. So they suspended him, right, from playing in games.
So he got suspended.
He got suspended for, I think it was like 5 games. He has a minimum amount of games he's suspended, which I think is like 5 games.
So when people like that get suspended, and Jay, you're the sports guy in all three of us. When they get suspended, their contract is per year. It's not per game, or how does it work? So he got suspended for 5 games. He's still making the same amount of money for the year, or did he lose 5 games worth of revenue? So he lost 5 games worth of revenue. He has to speak to leaders. I see that, but yet he still has to donate money as well.
Yeah.
And what was the amount of money?
$500,000 to anti-hate causes. So nothing specific, just something in that line of work. It's a key.
So it could also be like BLM causes too, right?
Yeah. Just has to be anti-hate.
Or just he could donate those $500,000 to the Museum of Tolerance.
Yeah, I mean that's an anti-hate cause, I assume.
Yeah,
now,
what is your point? Where are you going with this?
Well, that 500. Well, I'm trying to see how much of a punishment it really is in my mind.
Well,
like,
I mean,
those $500,000, isn't that a tax write-off for him essentially?
Potentially, but I honestly don't know. I mean, if you're just trying to figure out if the amount of money that he would have lost in the games that he didn't play, and the amount of donations that he would have.
Well, I'm thinking like a poor man here, because if I got suspended for 5 days without pay, and then I still had to be able to come back to work, I had to donate half my salary. That's
according to
Google, as a rich man, I don't know if I would care. I think I would say, yeah, I fucked up. Let me apologize. Here's the money. I'm being fined.
Yeah, but Sean's question was, do you think that list of demands justifies that, for like what he did? Do you think he should have to do all of the stuff that
that's what I was asking.
Well, the thing is, he's a representative of an organization. He's not just representing himself. So if he wants to continue to be that representative, yeah, absolutely. I think it's justified.
Well, okay.
Why not just terminate his contract and not?
I don't know sports, but is he the best player that they have?
Yeah, he's probably the second or first option scoring wise.
So why shoot themselves in the foot?
He was good enough not to have. Well, because obviously they need to make a stance. But Juan, to answer your question, Kyrie Irving is roughly, his net worth is $90 million. So $500,000 divided by whatever he lost also in those things, probably not a drop in the bucket, assuming that he actually has that money. It's not like he's liquid that way, right? If he's not, then if he's terrible at managing his money, then maybe he's sweating that $500K, right? And maybe he needed to play those 5 games, and maybe, who knows,
Dude, there's some NBA players that have gone bankrupt. That's really sad.
So, and so again, I ask you, do you think these lists of demands are super crazy for him to meet in order to resume making money again?
I wouldn't call them demands, but yeah, I think.
Well, I mean, what else are they? They're not optional,
He's not being held hostage.
He's not.
I think if he wants to, I think, yeah, exactly. If he's that good of a player, he can quit and then go become a liability at somebody else's organization.
Well, I don't.
Well, I mean, he was trying to get traded.
He's like, I need to get out of here. I need somewhere I can just say all this anti-Semitic shit and be all right.
There was a rumor that he was going to get traded to the Lakers.
Not anymore, I think. But yeah, so so all in, Juan, do you think it's too much of a price? It sounds like you don't think it's that bad, considering that he's a rich dude.
No, I do not. I do not, because I believe in.
So let's say, and I don't know. So let's say that like it equated to about $10 million for him essentially what equated to basically showing that Amazon had this movie, not disagreeing that the movie was anti-Semitic, and then basically like kind of outwardly not apologizing until he got suspended. So do you think that like roughly $10 million and all the other stuff he had to do is too much?
No, because he's not just representing himself.
Okay, so let me ask you.
So if I had a product and I had a spokesperson and they
go ahead.
And they misrepresented, or they presented themselves in an image I don't want my product associated with, I would absolutely say, yeah, I'm not going to stand for this shit. And here's your slap on the wrist, or here's your punishment. You either do it or we cut ties, because I don't want my product to be associated like that.
So do you think that it was okay for Kanye to lose over $1 billion overnight for...
Yeah, he said something stupid. Here's the thing. These people are not nobodies. These people are representatives of their brand, their own selves, plus whatever brands they're associated with. I am sure that these fucking companies have a morality clause or an image clause that says, hey, I mean, how many times have we heard like Disney kids have contracts of, this is the image that you must have to become a Disney kid, and if you fuck up, you're no longer a Disney kid. You're now Lindsay Lohan.
So, well, I mean, she's still doing stuff. But Juan, so then how do you approach a free agent like Dave Chappelle, who had multiple Netflix specials and they paid him a lot of money, and he has not denied that. And now he just went on SNL and gave the opening monologue, which has caused a lot of controversy because it seems like a lot of these news outlets are saying what the things that he was saying are anti-Semitic in nature, right? Like, and that they're misguided and all this stuff. So first of all, let me ask: did you guys see or listen to the Dave Chappelle monologue?
Oh yeah, I watched it twice.
And did you find it funny?
It was hilarious.
I also agree that it was fucking hilarious. It was very, very funny.
It was actually one of the funnier monologues that I've seen on SNL in a very long time, actually.
Yeah, and now, do you think it was misguided? Like, do you think that like that the approach was smart?
Well, even before that, when he was set to appear on SNL, there was all this like backlash. Like a lot of the SNL writers were going to boycott that episode and not write for it.
Really? Because it was Dave Chappelle.
Because it was Dave Chappelle, and they don't agree with a lot of things that he says in his comedy and his specials, so they were going to boycott.
But isn't that the thing about being a comedian, about making fun of current events, making fun of life? I mean, if you cross the line, you cross it, but isn't that what comedians do?
Yeah, but I mean, right now the political climate right now is very sensitive. So like people are on edge on anything anybody says. So like just a hint of like anti-Semitism or transphobic rhetoric, they're so quick to jump on it. Just like, even if it was, in like making light of something or joking about something, they're just going to take it offensively.
Yeah, in fact, so he opens the monologue with literally unfolding a piece of paper, and it's probably just for effect. He reads and he goes, I would just like to say before we start that I denounce anything that's anti-Semitic, and I stand with my brothers in the Jewish community. And he goes, and that, Kanye, is how you buy yourself some time.
I thought that was funny.
And so I find it very funny, because there's one of the news sources who I can't remember which one it was, either CNN or like Fox or
CNN.
whatever. Who took that statement? They took two statements, I think, out of context. That one being that, like, he said it just so that he could get this time, like he'd get the remaining like 8 minutes of time to like kind of go on. Because if he didn't say that ahead of it, they were just going to be like, no, we won't let you speak.
I mean, it's crazy. They're picking apart a lot of the monologue and taking it out of context.
Yeah,
but that's what people do. I mean, how many times have people gone up in arms about one sentence, one word that was said in a 10, 15-minute monologue, and when you see the monologue or see the special, you go, it wasn't as bad. I mean, remember the first Netflix special where everybody talked about him being transphobic and everything, and didn't he talk about him having a friend comedian that was transgender, then committed suicide, but still like takes care of their daughter and stuff like that?
He did.
But they didn't take that out of context. They took the fact that he said
he said multiple things here. So that there's that first bit, right? He's like, he said that it was just to kind of like, again, because we don't know if he was being serious or not. But I mean, obviously, it was played for laughs. The second thing is that that he said is that just because there's a lot of a certain type of people in one place doesn't make them a thing.
Yeah.
Which again, this is why Dave Chappelle is great, because this is a sharp observation about generalizations we make in society that is absolutely true. You say, oh, there's a lot of black people there, they must be a gang. It's a lot of Italian people, they must be the mob. It's a lot of Hispanic people, they must be getting ready to work at Home Depot or some shit like that. You know what I mean? But like,
I don't recall him saying that.
No, he
are being racist.
Look at this woke media trying to come down on Sean.
Look at that. But the thing is,
Sean is not a comedian. I am triggered, motherfucker.
I'm not a comedian. But
you are not a comedian, and you are not one of those racists. So fuck you.
So. Okay, so anyway, but the point being is that, like, we make these generalizations and then we make these assumptions, and they exist in society. In this scenario, Kanye, I think, and we talked about this, is talk about how, like, he feels like the Jewish community kind of runs the black image, and then Jay found this great video of John Stewart really kind of talking about that exact thing, and how much representation, like, we may feel they have. And I think one of he makes this joke about how he's like, oh, you're really sorry that there's, there hasn't been a Christian president, and he's like, yeah, they get sworn in on a Bible and so on and so forth. But it's just such a funny little bit of monologue, because he's like, there's not that many of us, and for you to think that we run the world, I'm sorry. He's apologetic, for something that is absolutely absurd. But to go back to Dave, is like he's saying it just so happens there are a lot of Jewish people in Hollywood. Just so happens.
A lot.
Yeah, a lot. Yeah. And if you use the term "the" and Jews together, it typically doesn't work out for you because again, people tend to think that it's anti-Semitic.
Louis C.K. In one of his specials, he did a bit on the word Jew. Like they say it as a label for Jewish people, but it's also the slur. you just have to say it with a little stank on it. Like
that's pretty funny. Yeah, and so Dave Chappelle, I mean, he in this monologue, he touches on just not that, but he touches on a bunch of other things.
I like the fact that he said Ye has done some stupid things, and I normally go to his side to make sure he's okay. But in this one, I kind of sat it out to see where it went.
Yeah. Because he admits that, the world knows that he's not well. You know, he's like, guys, we know that he's not well. And he's probably saying this shit because he was off his meds or some shit that night. But like, that doesn't make it, again, it doesn't make it okay for him to say what he said.
No. He justified that because he goes, shut up, bitch. A crazy man, an unstable man, or a not healthy man can go and kill somebody.
Yeah. Well, yes. He's saying that. And he is saying that, just because he's ill doesn't mean that he can't say that stuff. But what he's saying is that he's not unarmed, and like we know that he's unwell. So why don't we help this guy?
That is a valid point, man.
Yeah, like why don't we help this guy?
Is it because we need a boogeyman?
No, he's like what Michael Jackson was like, 15, 20 years ago. When he was dangling babies outside of a window and shit like that.
Yeah.
Like
I remember that. Yeah. And so, because he also talks about former President Trump. He also talks about one other thing which I can't remember. But I mean, he talks about a bunch of different things. And so, and Juan, it sounds like you watched the CNN like news thing that Jay found.
I did.
Which, like, as I listened to this, I was just like, I think they completely took it out of context, like his entire monologue. Because they particularly wrote on one of the points in his thing. He's like,
was it me or was the one black guy on that segment real quiet and let the white folk talk? And then I love how they're justifying their anger towards Dave Chappelle by going, yeah, he's real charismatic. I would watch him read the phone book, but the shit he said was fucked up. And hey, yeah, as a comedian and a Jewish woman, and a friend of Dave Chappelle, I laughed at some of this stuff, but then he said some misguided thing. We've never blamed Black Americans for the Holocaust, and I'm like, I don't think he ever really said that.
Well, he talked about Kyrie Irving, who he said that he doesn't think
the Holocaust exists.
Believes that the Holocaust existed, which I think that's what offended a lot of Jewish people.
Yeah.
But he also made fun of Herschel Walker.
He did.
Calling him obviously
obviously stupid. Like it wasn't a delicate telling.
A punchline. Yeah.
He was just like, he's obviously stupid. Like,
Yeah, and he said he looks like the kind of guy that thinks before he makes a move in tic-tac-toe.
Yeah. And so, and then the other thing they take out of context here, I think, is that because he mentions that whole thing about the Holocaust, and he goes, Jewish people have their own stuff, but you can't blame the Black community for that, and because we've had Kanye and then Kyrie Irving, two African American people who have both said things that were perceived as anti-Semitic. I mean, Kanye literally somebody's going to go DEFCON 3. I mean,
and we still don't know what DEFCON 3 is.
But the point is that, like, they both Black people both made these comments, and and the world seems to all agree that they're anti-Semitic, while most people are just kind of like, well, isn't it? And so I don't know if you guys listen to The Breakfast Club. You guys know of that? Maybe
is that
Jay
the big
does.
boy, or are we talking about?
Is that the big boy?
Emilio Estevez.
The Breakfast Club is a radio show.
It's also a fucking movie with Emilio Estevez.
It is.
Okay, so shut the fuck up. That's the one I know.
I think it was very clear I wasn't talking about a movie. But Charlemagne the God, you guys, Juan, you know who that is? He's one of the hosts there. He's known for being very radical in his opinions. And he goes, the thing is that I don't think anybody really knows what's anti-Semitic. So, like, when these people say these things, I think that somebody from the Jewish community should come up there and tell us this is what's anti-Semitic about what he said. Because as I listen to Dave Chappelle monologue, I don't think anything about his monologue was anti-Semitic. I think it was very much in a vein of like, we need to open up the floodgates to talk about this, because the more we don't talk about it, the more taboo it becomes.
I think that's right. And not just about anti-Semitism, but homophobia, just everything that makes people feel insensitive or labels them as insensitive, or because nowadays you don't know what triggers fucking people. Like, I could say shit that I grew up saying, and suddenly I'm a bigot.
And that's the thing. Go ahead, Jay.
You also, I think people also need to take into account the platform that like
Yes.
Dave Chappelle is doing this.
Yeah.
It's a comedy monologue that he's doing this. It's a comedy special that he's saying all this. Why would you take any of the shit that he says seriously when he's saying it as a comedy special or a joke, or it's just ridiculous.
It is a height of ridiculousness, and it's very funny because, like, you're right, Jay, and it's funny because CNN even says, like, I know he's a comedian, but there's just some lines you can't cross.
No,
And
but
then-
that's what comedians do.
But then literally in that same breath, the woman who is also a comedian and also Jewish
Is
says,
she a good comedian, Jay? Like, is she a well-known comedian?
Yeah, that's Judy Gold. She's very funny.
I don't know who. I don't know.
So,
Contempt.
but in that same breath, she goes, the comedian's job is to cross the line and then walk people back. No, I'm sorry. I think that was John Stewart who said that. I think it was John Stewart.
No, it was George. It was in that same thing, and they quoted George Carlin.
Yeah,
They said George Carlin, who was known for really being controversial. I mean, didn't he have the 7 words bit, Jay?
Yeah, he said a lot more shit.
Yeah, no. But
I mean, shining time station guy. But anyway, but Dave Chappelle, he, despite all of this, despite his monologue, despite all of that stuff, here's a guy who shouldn't even be on the stage. He should not even be there.
Why?
Based on his Netflix special,
Well,
based on you remember how canceled he was gonna be after telling those transphobic jokes.
Yeah.
Remember how canceled he was gonna be after trying to release that movie. Remember how canceled
But
he was
he's
gonna
so
be.
charismatic that people will
before-
watch him read the phone book. That's why he's forgiven.
And you remember how canceled he was gonna be, but he had that show where that guy got on stage and attacked him. You guys remember that?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hey,
So the real question here is, does cancel culture, and Jay, you said this multiple times, but does cancel culture truly exist? Can we actually cancel people? Or are there just some people who are immune? Like, is Dave Chappelle just immune? Like, is that
I think cancel culture is just it's just a platform for people to kind of go up there and say, I don't like that.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, I'm starting to agree, because as I watch Dave Chappelle kind of repeatedly be successful and keep getting paid millions of dollars to do what he does best, I kind of go, well, if he's so bad, then why keep putting him on? Why does Peter? No, who's the guy that does SNL? Jay?
Michael.
Lorne Michaels.
Yeah.
Lorne Michaels.
Yeah. Like, why would Lorne Michaels take a chance like that if he didn't think it was going to bring him A, ratings, and B, an opportunity to, bring some spotlights in SNL? One of the news outlets goes, it was Jon Stewart this time. He was like, I woke up to see that the Jews were trending on Twitter, and this video from Dave Chappelle from SNL had over like 3 million views, and just overnight, So like the real question is, like, was it all a ploy? Did they use him on purpose? Like, did everybody gain out of this?
SNL's been on for since 1975. And over the years, they've had a lot of like controversial hosts. Like
Andy Kaufman.
he wasn't controversial. He was just eccentric. But Sinead O'Connor hosted, and she tore up a picture of the Pope, and she got banned. Like what Dave Chappelle did was he did his a funny monologue.
Yeah. So he did a funny monologue that was highlighted, that used the comments made by Kanye and Kyrie and President Trump and all these other things going on in the world today to make light of them, but also to spread information. There's not a lot of people who probably know like a lot of stuff that he was that he's talking about, but they laughed about it anyway.
And it's funny because like listening to a lot of people comment on the monologue, they're like, "Oh, it is funny."
Like, it was very funny. I mean, even just that literally the whole thing, the opening of it, just hilarious. I mean, I don't know how you guys felt about it, but it was a good monologue. It was a really good monologue, and I wonder if this means that he won't, that he will not be able he won't be on SNL for another year. You know what I mean? I think how often do the guests come back, Jay? They come back twice a year?
No.
He's done. This will be his third. This is his third time hosting.
So there you go. I mean, I feel like he'll be back. Do you think that Dave Chappelle is just uncancelable? Do you think that's the?
I mean, I don't think he's gonna get canceled by the things that he says, unless he does something. Unless he does something as far as action wise, where he's hurting people. I don't think what he says is gonna cancel him.
Where's the line? Where's the line for him? Where do you think? Do you think that he's such an outrageous comic that he has no line that can be crossed that he cannot come back from?
Well, here's the thing. I think he's such a clever and insightful comedian that he knows where the line is, and he knows how to tiptoe back and forth between what's offensive and what's funny.
Yeah, in fact, he even closes the monologue with "Don't take anything away from me," or
whoever they are,
whoever they are, you know what I mean? So it's such an ambiguous thing. But if you're listening to the entire monologue, you know exactly kind of what its point is. And so,
yeah.
So I think to your point, he may be able to talk his way out of most of this, but.
I was listening to a podcast, and they were talking about cancel culture and whether a comedian should be able to say the things that they want to say on stage. And I think this guy was like a professor or something, and he studies I don't know, comedy or comedians or the history of comedy. But he says that it's a comedian's duty to speak freely and cross those lines. Because people have comedians from the past have been arrested.
Lenny Bruce, right?
Just for being on stage and having saying the things that they want to say and being arrested for that. And for you not to go on stage and be able to say the things that you want to say, it's disrespectful to all the comedians that have gotten arrested and gotten in trouble for the things that people can say openly now.
I agree. I think that if you go to a show of a comedian, you kind of go there not really knowing, but you kind of you got to understand the environment. So I agree. I think that as a comedian, and really, I came across this video on TikTok because I think I've been infected. But it says that people have free speech to say whatever they want to the government, right? And the government has made an agreement to say that they won't retaliate against you. And that's really the only place. But other than that, if you say some off-color shit to somebody else on the street and they punch you in the face, that's their right to do that, because they're not the government, unless they're an agent of the government. But anyway, I think that to your point, Jay, that comedians or anyone who has an opportunity to say something, whether it be creatively, artistically written, filmed, whatever, should have the right to show that. And they want to show that, then I should have the right to go and see it. But if I don't want to see the message, then I shouldn't take myself there. So people who buy tickets to a Dave Chappelle show and then get offended at the things that he's saying, they shouldn't have been there in the first place.
Yeah, the people that have been offended, they're the ones that have seen it.
Yeah, yeah. You know what I mean? I can't believe he said that. Why'd you buy tickets in the first place?
At some point, if you're offended, then stop watching or stop attending, right?
Yeah. I mean, don't go in the first place. It's like
no. Well, if you don't know what it is, or let's say you lived under a fucking rock and you go to a Dave Chappelle show, you realize, shit, this is not my cup of tea. Walk out and stop. Why stay throughout the entire show and go, I'm going to be here angry? Like those two angry people that they showcased in the second comedy special.
Yeah. They were in the front seat, just looking very angry about everything.
I find it hard to believe that they didn't know what they were walking into.
Well, David Cross. You've heard of David Cross?
I have heard. Yeah, Tobias.
David Cross is Tobias.
Oh, yeah.
He's also a stand-up. He says a lot of off-color shit on stage. But he talked about because he knows that people will walk out of his shows. He's walked people because they were offended by the things that he says, and he says, there's been hours of his stand up on like YouTube, on MP3s. You could download a lot of his stand up, so you could research the things that he's gonna say or the type of humor that he's gonna do. So going in that he may not be your type of comedian.
Yeah, but how many people actually do the research on what they buy?
I mean, I feel like a lot of people in the world, in the land of the internet. But
yeah, it's hard to get people to come out, and when they have a spark of interest, they're gonna go on YouTube and go, "Oh, I want to see what this guy's gonna talk about before I go out and purchase $50 tickets."
Yeah, and I think even then, if you buy $50 tickets, it's like when people when you buy a movie ticket, Juan, and you get like 45 minutes into the movie and you're like, I really don't like this. And you walk out of the movie. I think the AMC will just reimburse you.
Yeah, they do that, but I've never done that.
You just walked out because your pride won't allow you to.
I stay and watch the entire fucking movie and then complain about how bad the movie was. But like, I've known people that have walked out and gotten their money back because the movie was so bad and they didn't want to stay for the entire movie. But the fact is, if I'm going to that movie theater to see a movie, it's because I probably already have an interest to see it, either because of the actor or because of what I heard, or I've seen shitty movies that I knew were going to be shitty because I heard there was controversy while they were filming it, and I wanted to see the end product. So I just bite my lip. But when it comes to like comedy shows, how many people actually just go, "Hey, there's this big name comedian in town, let's go watch him," without really knowing?
I mean, it's funny because I think a lot of people do that, and because like when you go to a comedy show, you may see several comics, and some of them are good, others of them are not good, and some may say some shit that you don't agree with, but that guy's gonna be gone in 8 minutes.
Yeah, no, but that's different when you're going to a comedy show with several comedians on the list. But if you're going to a fucking amphitheater with Dave Chappelle and friends on the title, you're expecting Dave Chappelle.
All right.
Yeah, but going in that you're going to see Dave Chappelle, and you've probably heard or seen his material before.
Or
so the person who brought you. You make it sound like Brendan Fraser from Blast from the Past walked out of his time capsule, went to the first place, bought a ticket. Dave Chappelle, okay, and he walked right in, and then stayed the whole time and was appalled, right? Like that.
Yeah, it's like when people would go see Bob Saget, do stand up.
I'm expecting Danny Tanner.
Yeah, and like they know how filthy he is as a stand up going in.
Did they? I mean, the first time you and I saw him on stage live, we were like, "Whoa!" It was funny shit, but it was so far away from his Danny Tanner persona.
I had heard that he was filthy on stage.
Yeah, but that day, I remember him saying some crazy shit that I'm like,
oh yeah. I mean, he was not the America's Funniest Home Video.
No. That was like a perfect example. Like he had his TV persona, and then he had his stage persona.
But a lot of the things he was saying was a joke.
Yeah.
So I mean, I wasn't offended by a lot of the things that he said, which is very offensive if it wasn't in the context of him joking.
Yeah, I mean, there's a story that I heard of him saying some inappropriate stuff about his daughter, and people just laughed at it because they knew it was a joke, but it was like, holy shit.
So let me ask. I mean, you guys think that Dave Chappelle is gonna work in the way that I think he wants, which is to open the floodgates of communication from the Jewish community to talk through what it means to say anti-Semitic things, that there'll be some level of education, because I think when we had Carlos on the show, he talked about this Instagram handle that kind of talks through, all the different transgender and like the LGBTQ plus communities, like different things. Do you think that there'll be something that will crop up along that, or you think that this monologue is just going to go down as another salacious thing that another celebrity does that is going to put them on the cancel bus?
I think it's just another piece of Dave Chappelle's art. Like it's something that people can look up, like old George Carlin bits. Like people love to watch old George Carlin bits, and go, hey, that he was ahead of his time. This is the things that he used to say is still happening today, you know, and I'm sure like 20, 30 years from now, people look back on this monologue and like, oh my God, like this is still happening today, you know? It's just one of those things. It's art. He's doing art, and he proclaims it. He's an artist. This is his art.
Yeah, it's true. It's true. All right, Juan, it's that time again. It's that time
Gauntlet
of the
time?
show that no. You know it's not gauntlet time. We got to let you blather on with
is
about
Minute
your own-
with Wanson's coming back?
No.
No, that
Yeah,
segment's
I would
dead.
never give you another minute to talk alone because people know what you do at that time. People know.
It's probably the worst minute on our show.
Yeah. You know who experiences a worse minute? Your wife. You're welcome, Juan.
That's a really long time.
I can see that you've been speaking to your mother.
But
Sean, I
you
would
know
also
what?
like to have sex with your mother.
Thanks. I mean, I guess there's a line. It's not a very long line because Juan's in front.
Community
But,
bicycle. Everybody gets a ride.
Hey, everyone. Yeah, it's just a doorknob, bro. It's a doorknob. But anyway, you know what? This week, you want to know who's back this week, Juan? You want to know who's back? We have Piz back. We have Peter Intelligence. Peter, welcome back to the show. How are you, Peter?
Good. Thank you for letting me, piss all over Swan here.
Yeah,
So,
yeah,
Piz
It's gonna
all
be a
over.
great opportunity again.
No,
Piz on
yeah,
his
thank you for coming back.
face.
Piz all over piz in his mouth. Piz on him like R. Kelly did to that little girl.
I don't know why you guys call it Piz and Jizz when you guys are contributing as well. Just fucking call it a moment with Peter.
A moment with Peter.
Pissing in your mouth. So, last week or 2 weeks ago, we talked about gun control or gun violence, or Juan had a lot of questions about Call of Duty and guns, which is going to spin off into another episode at some point. But he is back this week. But before we get into, before I let you guys run loose, here's your music.
And now it's time for It Does Not Compute with Juan Intelligence and Peter Intelligence. Piz and Jizz. Bzz.
So it's called does not compute, not even Piz and Jizz. Okay.
I think it's called Shut the Fuck Up and Talk.
Yeah.
Yeah,
But you suck it, dude.
I just got on the show to piss off Juan. So, I was going to bring up the whole Kyle Rittenhouse thing that he's been complaining about a couple episodes back, a couple seasons ago.
I was about to say that was like 2 seasons ago, man.
Yeah.
Super fan listener Peter doesn't even know which episode we're talking about.
Hey, there's like so many episodes. I got to just kind of pick and choose and just rip from all of them because you're always complaining. So this time I get to complain. Kyle Rittenhouse, he's all self-defense, man. He shot those 3 guys and it was all legit. If I come at you with a skateboard and I hit you in the right place, you could totally die. But if you don't think that's okay, then pretty much I think we should all be wielding skateboards, right? And it should be cool.
Yeah. An army of skateboard wielding army men.
Well,
all I have to
you
say
can only do it if
is
your mom and dad drop you off first. Your mom and dad have to drop you off first. And
okay.
then,
First off, I have to say, fuck you. It was not self-defense because he drove and placed himself into that situation.
I know
If he
his
would've
mom drove him.
His mom. Hey, mom, we're arming a militia. Do you mind sending me over there?
Kyle, make sure you bring your guns.
Don't forget it right back. No, it was not self-defense. Not like I understand self-defense if he was chilling at his house and these 3 guys just started going, "Hey, what's up? Give me your lunch money. I'm going to beat the shit out of you."
Should we be pissed off at those Doctors Without Borders that go overseas and go to one of those countries with warlords and they're getting attacked? Should we be pissed off if they fight back in self-defense because they left their home to,
No, but that's different. They're going to a country that a war-riddled country to try to help people, and they are attacked. This guy went to a state that he didn't even belong to protect shit that wasn't even his, and
Sounds like going to another country that's not really exactly his.
No, but they're not going over there to fight.
Medical aid.
They're not going to go operate people with fucking Uzis and fucking machine guns. They're saving lives, and then people decide to like fucking attack. No, it's different. This guy decided to start.
You got to see that movie, Lord of War.
Lord of War. That's the one with Nicolas Cage, right?
Yeah. It's the one where he was
selling weapons.
Selling weapons, yeah. The USSR. Dude, that was an awesome movie. Yeah, you know, it's funny. I just put myself in Kyle's place. Let's say I wanted to really go out there and go to a soup kitchen in downtown LA, which I used to do. And, you know, it gets pretty scary. I think it's even scarier now because of all of the homeless that supersede Skid Row. And because I live in a different place where they allow me to conceal carry, you know, I would feel a lot safer if they would allow me to do that in downtown LA. Now, if the exact same thing happened to me, I flew all the way down to downtown LA to serve at a soup kitchen because it wasn't my intention to be in another state, you know, I would consider it self-defense if someone truly attacked me, you know, and again, Kyle's first intention was to, provide first aid. The only issue that a lot of people had was
how the fuck was he going to provide first aid? No. He went down there to shoot people. He didn't go down there to provide first aid.
No. He did not go down there to shoot people.
Did he not go there with a gun?
Yeah, but that doesn't mean he's going to shoot someone.
No. He went down there with a gun. He went down there with the intention to use it. Here's the thing. There's a difference between concealing your weapon for protection and having it as protection, but you went down to a location where you knew there were protests, riots, and it was going to get to a point that you were going to need it. You know what would have been better?
What you're saying is essentially that every man walking around with a dick is walking around with intention to rape people. That's what you're saying. Because he went down there with a gun, that he went down there to shoot people. And because he didn't conceal the gun, that's the only way you can tell if he wasn't willing to shoot people or not.
He went down there with his gun with the purpose of intimidating and not utilizing it. Utilizing it was the last resort. And that's what happened. He got attacked and they tried to take his gun away from him and he shot.
I mean, what do you think it would be better, Juan, if he did conceal carry while administering first aid? Would it have been warranted? Is it because the AR-15 looks scary, or I mean,
I think
because now we're getting somewhere. We're getting somewhere because you said.
I think if he was trying to help somebody and somebody tried to attack him and he defended himself, I think yes, it's warranted. But in this situation, he wasn't trying to administer first aid. He wasn't trying to protect his own property. He wasn't there to aid people in the most pacifist way. He was there to use J. Cole's term, intimidate people. He was there, in my opinion, and this is just my opinion, to seek trouble.
That's why we're here.
To seek trouble because it wasn't even his neighborhood. It wasn't his property. He could argue that as an American citizen, his right is to protect all other Americans, but the people that he shot were Americans as well. I think it's two different scenarios. He wasn't trying to truly aid somebody.
Well, I mean, the court case. Let's go by the court case. He said that he was trying to administer first aid. But let's go the Juan way, right? Let's say he was just a random guy in the crowd with a fanny pack, and let's say he was concealed carrying, and he was. Because you don't think he was administering first aid, you weren't there. But let's go the route of he was. Do you think he would have been right if they still attacked him? He was concealed carrying. He wasn't being intimidating with an AR-15, and he did have a fanny pack, which he even did in all the videos, all the pictures. That's why he totally.
See, that's why he got attacked because he had a fanny pack. Who the fuck wears a fanny pack?
No, but I mean the thing is,
lots of people.
Everybody is scary that night.
No, but okay, so let me flip this with another question towards you guys. Sure. Do you think people attacked him? Let's say, yes, he was putting a Band-Aid on an ouchie. but do you think people attacked him because he had a visible gun and a weapon, and they thought, hey, this guy is trying to fuck shit up? Do you think they would have attacked him if they didn't know he had a weapon? How many people do you think would have seen him trying to administer first aid, save somebody, or attend to somebody's wounds and let them be? I mean, even
answer that with two answers. I mean, the first one, I'll agree. The fact that he had a gun, a lot of people will be like, oh, he's not going to do anything. Exactly the same situation. He's not going to do anything. We're going to try to take his gun. Boom, they got shot. Now, let's say he didn't have a gun. There was a lot of people trying to put out fires as well during those riots, protests, whatever you want to call them. And they were getting attacked because they didn't want them to put out the fires. And they didn't have guns at all either. So whether he was administering first aid or putting out fires, I think just the fact that he was helping and not being destructive, they would have attacked him as well.
I have a stupid question to ask. I'm getting my Juan on right now, but what
stupid people, not stupid questions.
What do you think he told his mom to get her to drop him off in the middle of like a fight? How do you convince your mom? Like, hey, mom, I need to go over with my gun and like did you?
I'm gonna earn my my shooting badge with the Boy Scouts. What is it? Target practice or?
The target practice is with the M1 Garand. It's a way beefier gun than an AR-15, man.
You know
that is belittling.
I am going to get my merit badge in artillery. I can't even pronounce the word, but you know what I mean.
Well, you know the thing that makes this whole Kyle Rittenhouse case controversial is that it's this white kid who shot some people and he got away with it. You know, like he wasn't convicted. But if it were like this whole thing is like if it was a black kid, he would have been shot himself. And you know, like that's the argument. Like this white kid can just walk down the streets of Milwaukee with a rifle.
He did, and the cops went right past him.
Yeah,
right past him.
Yeah, this is why it's so controversial. Not that he shot people. It's because he's a white kid.
They must have saw a fanny pack and assumed he was there to help.
And again, I'm not trying to flip flop here because I really think that whether you have a gun or not, of any race, if you're doing the wrong things, you're bound to get in trouble. Now, the thing that
he wasn't doing the wrong thing.
No, if I recall correctly, when the cops passed him by, didn't he like put the gun to the side and like raise his hands up in the air?
That's
because that's what you do. That's what you do.
No, so but now let's say if he actually had it ready to fire towards and walking towards the cops, do you think he would have gotten shot? I think so.
Well, I mean, that's the thing.
They would have given him that first warning and then lit him up, and it's pretty fast too. So if you make any swift movements, you're done.
Well, I mean, he did it. He did it, and I think to Jay before he stopped, he's gonna say. I mean, I think that's the question, right? If he were not a white kid with a gun, would he have been shot regardless? Right, of him putting his gun to the side and putting his hands up. That's the question.
I mean, I have an opinion on that. It was the height of BLM too. So, I mean, the thing is, a lot of people were just like, dude, let's not get in that. Like, let's not try to hurt any more people of color or hurt anybody that, you know, we just don't want any more media surrounding us shooting any more black people or hurt. Yeah, so like it is what it is for now.
But that was bullshit, though.
We got to hit the brakes on this black violence.
Once the George Floyd incident happened, there were so many more incidents like right after. It's just like there was a spotlight on it, and then
like, we got to hit this break, guys, because they're starting to notice. Hold on. Well, man, Juan, I want you to save that fire for the gauntlet that's coming up. Peter, it's always a pleasure to have you on. Thank you for riling up Juan. I appreciate it. Just means it's going to be a pain in the ass to deal with in the gauntlet. I'll play you out, and it's gonna, it'll be great to have you on next time. Juan is like,
next time we talk about tacos.
Yeah.
What's controversial about tacos?
Yeah,
That's the
Hard shell, hard shell tacos versus regular tacos.
yeah, okay. Taco Bell is real Mexican.
Okay,
food.
fuck you.
Is that,
No, it is not.
that-
Fuck.
And that was Does Not Compute with Piz and Jizz.
Juan, you don't seem all that fired up right now. Let me ask you, are you ready?
For another moment with Piz and Jizz.
No, you did that already.
Minute at Juan's.
No, man, we're not doing that anymore. We talked about that. We're not doing that anymore. That sucked.
Then
Yeah, that segment sucked.
Are
your
you
mom.
ready? Are you ready to continue having the pants be off of you in the gauntlet?
Fuck you. What's the score again?
Well,
I
for
think
those
you
of
and
us
I are
keeping track at
tied.
home-
You and I are tied, aren't
no,
we?
we haven't been tied for a number of episodes, Juan, but
Oh no, this is the one that you're actually winning.
that I had a come from behind victory on your mom. I won. So the point standings right now are you, Juan, you have 6 points. Jay has 13 points. And I have 18 points in this gauntlet. 18 points. Are you ready, Juan? Are you ready? You have the least amount of points, so you go first. So you
No.
go first.
Fuck you.
Juan,
Don't I
that's-
get like a double taker or something like that?
if you still have the least amount of points?
Okay,
at the-
we all know. Just fucking do it. Do it.
Why are you so frustrated? Like nothing's
Pull
even
the
just
happening.
Band-Aid
fucking-
off, Sean. Just pull the Band-Aid off, Sean.
Well, Juan, typically how these things works is that I entered.
Give me the fucking number.
to 911 to check yourself in the hospital. 'Cause you're being
Just give me the
fucking crazy.
number, man. Just tell me the option so I can give you the number to pick from. Go.
You have between track 2 and
Two.
track 60.
2.
Okay, then.
5 seconds.
But
No, wait. 3 seconds. 3 seconds. 3 seconds. Sorry.
track number 2, 3 seconds. Here you go. Nothing.
I don't hear anything.
Oh, well, that's because I didn't connect it to the guy.
Fucking.
Well, I learned it from watching you.
All
right. All right. Are you ready?
Yeah.
You ready? Here it is.
Adam's Family.
Jay, do you agree or you disagree?
I agree.
No shit.
I also agree. And Juan,
That puts me at 9 points, bitch.
yes, you have earned 3 whole points. All right. The answer is the Adam Family. All right, Jay, it's on you.
Hey, have you guys
What?
started watching Wednesday yet?
No.
Thanks, man. I appreciate you doing that one. All right, Jay, you have between track 4 and 60 to choose from.
60. I picked
I'll do 60.
I picked 3 minutes.
1
And-
minute. Oh, 1 second. 1 second.
1 minute. You're in the Juan line now. All right. Track number 60. 1 second. 1 second. Here it is. Would you like to hear it again or extend the length?
It's the Main Street Electrical Parade.
I'll go to 3 seconds.
All right. 3 seconds. Here it is. You only get to play it once now. Here it is. Okay. I know this, but I can't remember the name of the show.
Oh, yeah, I think
I know, but I can't remember the name of the show. When I see the name, I know it's gonna be like, yes, that's fucking right, but I can't remember the name of the show.
Oh, yeah. I want to say it's from like the early 2000s or
Yeah.
the 90s.
Yeah, like 98, 90, 98, 99, even probably earlier in the early 90s, like 93, 94.
There should be a time limit on this shit, man.
Why? Because you have time. So you have time to cheat. I trust Jay not to cheat.
I don't know. Designing women.
I disagree, and I think that it's Benson. I don't know. I don't know.
Benson.
Wow.
I have no fucking clue. I have no clue what this
Wow.
is. I have no clue. But I know that it's not designing women. Juan, how about you?
I disagree.
Okay. There usually comes with an answer. What's going on?
I think it is. Punky.
Should there be a time limit on this
Yeah,
shit?
Punky Brewster.
Okay. I don't agree with that. But all right, you guys ready for the answer? The answer is Parks and Recreation. Parks and Recs. Yeah.
God damn it.
Oh man, I've never watched that show. So and there's somebody like who loves that show, banging their head against their phone or their car radio. Let's listen to 1 minute, see what's going on, or 5 seconds. That didn't help at all.
That's because it's the poor quality.
It is, and I've watched Parks and
Yep. Chris Pratt.
Man, okay. Well, Juan, that makes it my turn, which means that
I pick for you.
Then just show tradition. You tricked you
4
in
to
show
59?
tradition. Yeah. Look at you remembering.
I say 4.
All right. Track number 4, and I'm gonna do 1 second because I got to keep my lead. Here it is. Track number 4, 1 second. I'm gonna listen again because I don't know what the hell that is. Here, hold on, 1 second. Oh my God. Okay, I have no clue what this is, but I'm gonna go on a limb and say that this is Blossom.
I agree.
Juan, do you agree or disagree?
I agree.
I don't know if that's right. All right, but the answer is hey, look at that.
That's because you're cheating this fucking season.
How am I cheating? Juan, just for how many points does that give me now, Juan?
You had 18, so 23.
That gives me 23 points.
Yeah. Now give me my pity.
All right, hold on. That was.
Can we listen to the full 5 seconds of Blossom?
Yeah, hold on. Here it is.
I'm on a smile. Come out and walk in the sun for a while.
Yeah, I never saw Blossom.
You never saw
What?
Blossom? Gee, whoa. Jinx, you owe me a Coke. I got to make sure that part gets synced in the audio. So, yeah, I didn't watch Blossom religiously, but yeah, I guess I knew enough to know that was Blossom. All right, Juan, so you have your choice.
6.
6.
All right. Track number 6, and it's 1 second. So here you go, Juan. Here you go. You ready?
Yeah.
All right. Here we go. Would you like to listen again?
Yes.
Here it is. Yeah, I have no clue what that is, man. I have no clue. I couldn't steal this point if I wanted.
Snorkels.
Snorkels?
Oh my God. Yeah, I have no clue what that is. I'm gonna disagree though. I'm gonna say that it's I Dream of Jeannie.
No.
I'm going to disagree, and I'm going to say it's Night Court.
Oh, fuck.
Hold on. All right.
Fuck you, dude. Oh, I'm going to be so pissed. I am going to be so pissed. Go. Just fucking do it.
The answer is The Good Place. The answer is The Good Place.
Okay, good.
I've never seen this show, so let's listen to
I have.
5 seconds.
I would have recognized it with 5
me.
seconds. Yeah, I would have recognized.
I haven't seen it.
It's a good show.
I've never
Ted
seen that
Danson's
show.
in it.
Yeah.
And Kristen Bell. It's a funny show.
I hear.
Yeah, well, it
Jesus
was.
Christ,
It's
that-
no longer. Yeah, they're in hell.
Well, that gauntlet went by pretty quick, man. Juan, now that the gauntlet's over, Juan, good for you. You got 3 more points. That was actually, it's good on you, man. So you're at 9. Jay's still at 13. No point gain today. And I have 23 points now. Victory has never smelled so sweet.
But we're only in episode 4 of the season, so
Yeah,
Fuck
fuck
you.
you, bro. Hey, a man can dream, okay? A man can dream. Fuck you.
episode 4, motherfucker. Episode 4.
Yeah, man. And you know,
Just
9 episodes away.
Come on, get over. There's a bedtime. It's late.
I just have one more thing I want to talk to you about, Juan. And it was just about if you had accepted the Lord Jesus Christ as your Lord and Savior.
No.
Okay. Well, I guess that means you're done then. Is that what that means? You're finished. You're done. 6. Hello.
Remember how I invited you guys over to Thanksgiving? Well, you guys are still welcome to come.
Tell that
Oh,
to
cool.
So Juan, that means you're done, right? Is that what's happening here? You're done. You're finished. You're ready to end the show.
Yes.
Okay, great. Juan,
But before I do, I just want to say one thing. Fuck you, Sean. Fuck you, Jay. Now I'm done. And Peter, you too.
Great. Well, thanks everybody for listening. Is Dave Chappelle right? Do we need to open up the floodgates and talk more about this stuff? And then, what's your favorite Power Ranger story? You guys, is the White Ranger, your Green, or Green Ranger? Who's better? Who's stronger?
The Red Ranger.
Tell us, we want to know.
Tommy.
Tommy. It doesn't matter. Any Ranger, Tommy versus Tommy. Let us know. We want to hear about it. Juan, go ahead and stumble over the outro, bro. You got this. I believe in you.
Thank you very much, Sean. Hey, folks, thanks for listening. Don't forget to rate and review us on iTunes. It's very important that you guys rate and review us because it'll help the algorithm and push us up on the list or charts, whatever you want to call it. You can find us on all social media, which is Facebook, Amazon, Instagram, Twitter. Our handle is at INCYCSHOW. Again, it's at INCYCSHOW. You can email us some of your suggestions and comments. Our email address is INCYCSHOW@gmail.com. Or you can leave us a voicemail and the link in the show notes, or just go straight to www.anchor.fm/INCYC show. And again, we have merch. Get that one shirt, or fuck the t-shirt, get other cool stuff that isn't necessarily related to our podcast from the lindamyra.com store. Linda Myra, get your very own I'm Not Crying, You're Crying t-shirt, or any of the other cool merch they sell. Just follow the link in the show notes, or just go to lindamyra.com. Peace.
Good night, everybody.
Good night, everybody.
Juan, that may have been the best outro
you said
done.
that the last 2 times.
Well, look at you. You must be getting worse.
Well, your mom.
Good night, everyone. No, your mom.